makers are not giving Felicia Spencer a lot of respect, and understandably so. Amanda Nunes, the
Right.
greatest of all time. But I wonder, does it get difficult when you have a dominant champion like that? Does it get difficult to promote somebody that it seems like the challengers have no chance against them?
Anderson Silva, Ronda Rousey, the list goes on and on. This is what happens when you get to the John Jones. When you get to that level, this is when it's actually the pressure is actually much higher when you get to the level that she's at right now. The expectation is there. I mean, after her last fight, she fought Germaine de Randamie, probably the greatest female striker on the planet. And everybody was like, she looked okay. She looked human. She looked this and that. She is human. She's great, but she's human. This is the type of stuff that they have to face when they get there. And both divisions. She's got 2 divisions, which is unbelievable. And literally everybody in those divisions are breaking down film on her, and everybody's training on how to beat her. It's never harder than when you're on top.
Yeah, we haven't seen anybody, keep these 2 belts for a lengthy period of time. She says she wants to keep doing it. She says she wants to go to bantamweight next. I mean, I guess you can't look past this weekend, but do you have a number 1 contender at bantamweight ready, or do you feel like maybe the Aspen Ladd fight in a couple weeks is the number 1 contender fight? What's the plan for it at 135?
Yeah, no, well, the plan is this Saturday, and there's so much shit going on right now. It's like things that we used to plan for, and it's a different world, and it's a different business, and it's completely different how we handle everything now. I'm not even thinking about that right now. There's so much other craziness going on,
Yeah, it might be a similar question then, but Aljamain Sterling and Corey Sandhagen seems like a number 1 contender fight.
Yeah, I agree.
Are you
Yeah.
kind of eyeing that as the winner gets a title?
For sure.
Yeah. And is the plan at 135 still Jose Aldo and Peter Yan?
Yes.
Do we have a date, a confirmation for when that's?
I think I prematurely announced it like I do sometimes, so we don't have all the info on that yet.
That's funny. I want to ask you you mentioned John Jones. I want to ask you for an update. Have you had a chance to talk to him at all? And he's saying he wants to give up the belt. Are you recognizing that, or what's the plan?
Yeah, we haven't talked. Listen, John Jones is, in my opinion, the best to ever do it. Let him take some time, and we'll get it figured out. But no, he and I have not talked.
Do you think you will? I mean, I know you said he normally talks to Hunter. Do you think that's a situation that you need to get control of?
I don't know. He and I have had plenty of fights in the past. This isn't the first, and it won't be the last. So, I don't know. Listen, we're going through some weird times right now. I mean, I just saw Masvidal saying, I want more money. It's like the whole fucking world is losing their minds right now, man. It's crazy. So, I don't know.
I was going to ask you on Masvidal. What do you make of that? I mean, obviously it's just happened.
I think everybody wants more money. I think everybody wants more money. I mean, in all these other sports, you have, and Masvidal says you got enough money to buy islands. Let me repeat for the fucking billionth time. I did not buy an island. Okay, we did not buy an island, and the reason we're doing the island is so that fights can go on, and these kids from Europe and the rest of the world can make money and can work. So I think a lot of people are really I don't know if it's frustrated and confused or what the situation is right now. These other sports are trying to figure out negotiations how people will play for half the money they were going to play for before. And some of these other sports might not even go this year the way that it's looking. Who knows? So people are losing their minds. Listen, I said it when we were going through the pandemic and the media was asking me, well, what if fighters are worried and don't want to fight? Well, you don't have to fight. Anybody that doesn't want to fight doesn't have to fight, including Masvidal and John Jones and all these other guys. And it doesn't have to be because of a pandemic. These guys are independent contractors. This isn't like the NFL where I can make you come to practice and you do this, or you're going to get fined, or you're going to get this. These guys can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. I had a big thing the other day with a reporter about fighter pay. They can come out and tell you what they make any day of the week. They can do any of that stuff. These guys can do whatever they want. So they don't have to fight. And we're not begging people to fight. We're offering fights because in our contract, I have to give you 3 fights a year, right? I owe you 3 fights a year. You have the ability to turn them down and not take them, so they can do whatever they want.
Last thing for me, Danny, I'm curious if you've seen the situation with Tim Sylvia, obviously former UFC champion, He's taken to social media. I guess the screws that were put in his arm because of the Frank Mir fight are backing out, and he's getting infected, and he's looking for money. He's saying the UFC won't handle him medically. Have you heard about
From me?
Not from you, not from you particularly. But I'm curious if you had heard.
The last time Tim Sylvia fought here, 15 years ago, and how many fights has he had in between that and there with a million other organizations? No, I didn't see that.
I mean, is that something that you would look into? Like, can you help the guy out? I mean, it was an injury sustained in a UFC fight.
It wasn't what?
It was an injury sustained in a UFC fight.
Yeah.
It's like the hardware that's coming out of his arm. I mean, I guess you're not even aware of it, so it's hard.
I'm
to
not aware of
it.
it.
But
yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Dana here in the back, sir.
Yep.
Long time no see. Normally this time of year, we're gearing up for International Fight Week. The official website still has it listed. I wonder if there is a contingency in place for that.
What? Ask me that again.
International Fight Week. I was wondering if there's a contingency because the official website still has it listed as a go. I was wondering if it's, what the status is.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, as of right now, not a go.
Sure. I was wondering if there's a contingency as far as something else in the works.
Yeah, I mean, last night, this city opened up again. I was out last night, and there were people everywhere. Places were packed, and but I don't see. I don't know. Like I said to you guys before, unless the world changes really fast in the next couple of months, and there's crowds again and all that other stuff, we're not even looking at anything like that. I'm literally looking at the rest of this year. There will be no gates. There will be no crowds. There will be none of that stuff.
Okay, you already mentioned about Jorge Masvidal. I was wondering, do we have any idea what's next for Colby Covington?
No.
All right, that's all for me.
Cool.
Hey, Dana. Just jumping off the back of that Colby Covington thing, Tyron Woodley said earlier this week he'd been offered a fight with Covington, even after losing to Burns. Is that not the case?
I don't know. He might have been.
Okay. And then you spoke to Steve-O from Jackass on his podcast, and you said that it's highly likely Gilbert Burns could get the title fight with Kamaru Usman.
All right.
Taking into account with Masvidal and all that stuff, is he the front runner for that fight?
Yeah. I mean, listen, the kid wants to fight. He wants to fight. These other guys don't want to fight. He's begging for the fight, and he's the number one ranked guy in the world.
Would that be him and Usman? Would that be a good fight for July 11th for that card? It seems like the other champions have some other stuff going on. Could that be the fight with Kamaru and Gilbert?
I don't know. I haven't. Yeah.
Dan right here. Amanda said that she thinks she had the coronavirus months ago after attending an expo, and then went home. She's obviously still fighting Saturday, but did she take an antibody test to show that?
Everybody thinks they have the coronavirus. I thought I was like, oh, I definitely had it. I was sick in January. It was Chinese New Year. I was playing cards every night down the thing. I thought I had it. Everybody thinks they had the coronavirus. Everybody.
But her test came back negative to her actually having it back when she thinks she had it.
Right.
And then Alexander.
If anybody had it, they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be fighting.
And then reports are Alexander Gustafsson's coming out of retirement to fight at heavyweight against Fabricio Verdum. Is that official for this summer?
I don't know if we have that done yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Dana, Amanda could be the first athlete this weekend to defend both titles. Where does that put her in the MMA history?
There we go. Your mic just came on right there.
Oh, sorry.
Say it again.
Amanda could be the first athlete, this weekend to defend both titles for the first time. Where does that put her in the MMA's history?
Listen, she's in a position right now. Everybody already considers her as the greatest female mixed martial artist ever, and one of the greatest of all time, male or female. Like I was saying to John earlier, she's in a position now where she's like Brady status. You know what I mean? She's like Brady. You just keep breaking records and trying to make the record so far out and so hard to beat that, it'll take an incredible athlete to show up one day and break Amanda Nunes's records. And I think that's, she fights for money to make a living for her and her family, and she fights for legacy now to break as many records as she can and try to get that thing so far out of reach that people can't touch her.
I was also wondering how much the travel ban from Brazil, like Trump doing that, affected the events. And did you guys try to talk to the embassy or try to get the Brazilians guys here?
We, the travel ban all over the world has been a nightmare. I mean, the whole thing has been crazy. Well, when we were heading into this thing, everybody said that we couldn't do it. And then other people said we shouldn't do it. I said we can do it, and we should. The amount of, first of all, just pulling this thing off, to be able to do what we've done so far, and to be able to do what we're going to do with Fight Island. Nobody else is doing this. Nobody's even close to pulling off what we pulled off. And we did it right in the middle of the pandemic. And I could have done that fight April 18th. I could have done it. And I could have told ESPN, you know what? We're just going to do it, and we'll air it on Fight Pass. So to say, is it tough getting people out of Brazil? Is it tough getting people out of Russia? Is it tough getting people out? It's insane. It's been unbelievably hard to do. And we had members of the media calling politicians, calling venues, calling state athletic commissions, terrorizing them that they were going to write bad stories about them if this thing happened. So to try to tell you guys how insane this has been, it's been unbelievable.
Any tips where the island is?
What's that?
The island? Will you reveal where the island is?
Yeah, probably next week.
And my last question is, I'm sorry, I saw that you were not wearing a mask today during the face-offs.
Yeah.
So no mask for you.
No mask for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dana. Hello. So what did you make of some of the social distancing differences between the fighters during the face-off? Some wanted to shake hands, some wanted to fist bump, elbow.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's someone to. It's a very awkward. What do I do right now? You know what I mean? It's just everybody's trying to learn how to function in this new crazy world we live in.
It seems like the commission's easing up a little bit at a time. I noticed.
I wouldn't say that the commission has eased up. These guys, first of all, they had to get one under their belt to feel comfortable here and feel like that. I believe they know what we're capable of and what we can do, and they didn't doubt that we could do it. Just they had to get one under their belt and feel comfortable. And now this is going to be our fifth, I think. And by next week we'll be into our sixth event, and everybody's going to start getting a lot more comfortable. Nobody's been sick. Nobody got hurt. Florida, Brazil. We did the first one in Brazil, really, with no crowd. Everything's been fine. And the amount of people that have been tested and the amount of people that have been positive. I mean, I'm hearing stats from the casinos testing, 7,000 to 12,000 people. And nothing.
You went down to the Strip last night, as you said. The casinos first started opening down on the Strip. What did you make of the experience?
It's pretty crazy. I mean, I went to the Bellagio, and they have like hand washing stations everywhere where you can wash your hands, and they have the sanitizer all over the place and wipes, and then you have the dividers at the tables and all this stuff. It's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out. I'm assuming that this stuff's going to go on for a little while and then just all disappear eventually.
I was there too last night. The blackjack tables, it looked like they had the plexiglass screens, only 3 people a table. Did you play anything, and what was that? Did it hinder the experience, or?
I did play, and the dividers aren't a big deal, but the glass between you and the dealer is kind of weird.
Yes, and what's your take on what's going on in the country? With the protests, the riots, the unease that's going on.
What do you mean?
What's your take on all the madness?
It's madness. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. It's fucking crazy.
For Telemundo, hello. Regarding the last question. In other sports around the world, some leagues are not allowing athletes to any message of the crisis that we have right now.
Right.
What's the UFC position?
No, these guys. I think when the country and the world really is going through all the things that we're going through right now, to tell people that they can't express themselves is absolutely insane. First of all, you're going to have lots of different feelings and emotions about all the things that are going on right now. And, when you look at the UFC, we're truly a global business with people from all over the world that face things that other people would never understand. And to be able to, and to have the ability to tell people you can't express yourself, whether it's anger, happiness, fear, whatever it might be, is crazy. We would never do that. We would never try to do that. And, you've seen some of our athletes out there in different ways expressing how they feel one way or the other. And the beautiful thing is this is America. You know what I mean? And you can say anything you want to and express your feelings or your opinions. And I have no problem with any of our athletes doing that. Or my employees. I've had a lot of employees who have expressed how they felt too. And never going to happen here.